This week's Parsha, right by Sheni, we have a really incredible message by the Torah. V'chia be'ish chet mishpat maves v'humas. There's a Jew who is executed because of an adjudication that resulted in his properly being given the death penalty. V'sliso so alates. Part of the process of letting Klal Yisrael see this is what happens and serving as a deterrent, there is this requirement to leave him hanging. Different discussions, what exactly the case was. Was it the case of Skila? Was it other types of death penalty? But the result in this particular case was that he's being hung on a tree. By Sullen al-Eitz, you can't leave him there. You can't let him stay overnight. Ki kavar tikbrena biyom ahu, ki kilos elakim toli. You have to bury him on that day. You can't let him hang throughout the night because ki kilos elakim toli. Now this is an expression because what's hanging is a kilos elakim. So Rashi says, "Zuzul shel melachu." It's a shame for the king. Shadam osib the most yukno v'Yisrael heimbanov. He says because we are made b'tzelem elikim. We have godliness within us. Obviously, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't have any physical form, but the tzelem elikim, the most yukno, refers to Haneshama, refers to our similarity to HaKadosh Baruch Hu from the spiritual realm. And by having this man hang there, it's going to cause a shame. The Rashi gives a mashal that sort of highlights this in almost an incomprehensible kind of way. It says mashal l'shnei achim, comparison to two brothers, tumim, twins. Shidomen zelazeh echad nasa sar ve'echad nitzvah solistus. Two brothers that were twins. One became an officer, a big shot, and one became a robber, v'nitla, and he got given the death sentence, and now he's hanging. This robber is hanging. He has a twin brother who's an incredible person, who's a high official and a royal individual. Klaro, so Omer Hasarto, these twins, they're so similar that when you see the bad guy hanging, people are not going to make a distinction between the bad guy versus the good guy. They're just going to say, "Oh, the good guy's hanging." It's an embarrassment to the good twin to be in any way associated with this kind of degradation that's going on by having this bad guy hanging out there, having been executed. So it's a zilzal, it's a shame. So when you stop and you think about it, and again, there's a lot to be understood. Clearly, it sounds like we're twins with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and a lot of the Mefarshim do, go into a deeper concept of what exactly is Rashi trying to say. This is a Rashi, when you read on the surface, does leave you scratching your head a little bit. I mean, we're twins with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, but leaving all the complications sort of behind the scenes of what Rashi is trying to say, certainly on its simple level, because no pshat really gets away from this fundamental message of how similar we are to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and how much we are, how much royalty we have. If you leave this body, now in this case, the body of the person hanging clearly, is worthy of this fate. But and everyone is aware of it. But there's going to be a dimension where somehow they're going to see and associate the godliness of that person to the twin. They're going to somehow say that this is a disgrace and this is a degradation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu because of the fact that we're so similar to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And again, it's in one way it's a hard stretch that, I know that God is God and this is not God. I know this is a man, but at the same time, what's up there is also not only our body, but somehow the neshama that was in that body is represented by that body, and we're so close. And I guess this is the point I'd like to make is that if we don't have the proper vision, so for us we see ourselves, and very often the Eitzar is very good at getting us to see ourselves in a very sort of a mundane and materialistic kind of way. We tend to downplay our greatness, we downplay our inherent kedusha, and we sort of play up the fact that we're only human and we have limitations. Well, we certainly do have limitations, but if a person with the hair, a person would recognize that inner greatness. There are countless and countless stories in many different ways of people who, once they recognize who they are, and if they have that understanding that Tzelem Elokim, the greatness that we have inherent within us, then it somehow can change a person. It could make a person recognize, I can do this. I can be a better person. I can come closer to Kadosh Baruch Hu. I have that ability because I have that confidence and that recognition of who I am. If the Torah keeps focusing us on our weaknesses, and that very often can get us down and make us feel limited. While on the other hand, our job, the Torah's job, certainly what it tries to do is try to get us focused on, from the other perspective, the inherent greatness we have within us. And certainly, again, we're living in Elul right now. We're going through Elul, and Elul really does reflect that concept. The Anila Dodi V'Dodi talks about that relationship. Well, that relationship is so special because of the Tzelem Elokim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us. And if we had proper vision, it reminds us of the Chazal, the Medrash and Bereshis. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu made Adam, the Medrash says that the heavenly angels that normally were used to praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu were now confused. And they said, who do we pray to? Do we pray to Adam, or do we pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? I mean, what is that supposed to mean? The Torah says, well, it sounds, again, strange because we don't understand. We just have no ability to fully recognize what it is to have a neshama within a body. And a neshama that literally was taken from HaKadosh Baruch Hu as a chelik l'kayim mal, it's a portion of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what we have within us. Every breath that we take, and apparently even after death, here's a man who's hanging. There's such an intimate association with our neshama, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that even after death, there's some confusion. It's going to be sort of a degradation for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to have the mace, up there too long, hanging overnight. It's not acceptable. It can't be. It's not able to be done as far as the Torah is concerned. That's who we are. And again, that's why it's so important for us to have the proper glasses. If we have the proper vision of who we are and what we are, that would be one of the greatest motivators, if not maybe the greatest motivator for us not to fall into traps of sin, not to do what we have no business doing, because the overriding feeling would be, how can I? How can I do this to my incredible gift, the incredible neshama that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me? How do I sully it? How do I ignore it? I have no other choice but to do the right thing because of my recognition of who I am. And that's, as I mentioned, many on the secular realm as well have indicated this as, sort of the main motivator for people to change their lives and to go in the proper path, is this recognition of the confidence that you have in yourself, that we can do it. Well, certainly when we think of it this way, when we think about how intimately twined. When Rashi gives a mashal, and yes, there's a lot of discussion, but on the simple surface, that mashal is about us relating to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, us being like HaKadosh Baruch Hu's brother. There are different subtle changes maybe in some of the commentaries, but that essentially is the idea, that there's too much of a relationship with us to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that you can't leave that body out there in a disgraced kind of way. So Bez Hashem, this is a time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is palpably closer to us. This is a time that we have that enhanced feeling of Ani Dodi V'Dodi Li. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in a sense, moves himself closer, or maybe gives us the ability to feel that we're closer to him. Maybe HaKadosh Baruch Hu always is close, but maybe we're the ones who maybe distance ourselves, and now is the time to get closer, to recognize our greatness, Bez Hashem, and that's chus. We zech the good ben sure.